Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Hey, how's everybody doing? A little bit later on the day as far as my video, but we're getting it done, so this is awesome. We've got some very important things to talk about today. There are just some strange things happening in the markets, and so we need to talk about a couple of things that we don't normally get to on this channel. So first of all, my home base is cryptoinfluencers.com. I definitely encourage you to join the free channel right here. If YouTube ever blows up or anything else, it'd be cool to be able to still connect with you guys here. And the paid one is here in case you're interested. If you click on the free one, there actually is a chat. So if you have questions or you want to talk to me about stuff, I'm available. And then finally, I wanted to say that tomorrow is our live stream, and we're actually going to do it tomorrow, so that is good. But yeah, 12:30 Mountain Time is the live stream time. All right, let's jump right in. Okay, so on the top of the screen is the Bitcoin price. And what I've done is I'm on the weekly chart and I've zoomed out as far as I can, as much history as there exists for Bitcoin dominance. So as you can see, in the bottom, I have Bitcoin dominance. And what Bitcoin dominance is it is the percentage of the entire crypto market cap that Bitcoin makes up. So there is, way back at the beginning, there was really only Bitcoin. It made up 99% of all crypto in existence was the value of Bitcoin. So there were little things that popped in and out here and there, and that went on for years and years, but nothing ever became serious until Ethereum came on scene. And then when Ethereum became extremely valuable, during the mania phase of 2017, Ethereum just exploded in value and it went up a lot. And a bunch of altcoins came on scene and we had all kinds of alts just showing up. And this is when people were doing, what do you call it? They were doing initial coin offerings and stuff. So everybody had an ICO, tons of alts were showing up. And by the time we hit our peak in 2017, our Bitcoin dominance had dropped pretty significantly. This was at exactly 58%. And then after Bitcoin cooled off and started going flat and pulling back, the alts just exploded. It was a massive run on alts all the way till here. And as Bitcoin was losing value, alts just exploded, and we eventually ended up with an all-time Bitcoin dominance low of 35.41%. So what we need to find out on this video is, how do alts behave when we're exiting the bottom? So in 2017, we only have one data point. So we really only have one piece of history to look at. We're not interested in what happens to alts during a bull insane mania phase because we're not in a bull mania phase, but we are at the end of a bear market. So let's zoom out. I might have to move my face, huh? Well, we're still good. Okay, cool. You can still see. Okay, so at the top, this was our absolute bottom. In fact, we were right here. The very lowest was back December of 2018. We'd just finished a full year of downside. We just absolutely got crushed on Bitcoin. And so that is the situation we're in now. We hit our very, very bottom November of 2022, and we are slowly creeping back up. Let me see. I think this will make it easier if I can hide some of these drawings. Okay. All right. So what I'm interested in knowing is what happened at the bottom and what happened to Bitcoin dominance and how will that affect alts. And we're just going to go through this together. So Bitcoin went from a bottom of 3,160 or so, and it went all the way up to about 14,000. It was a huge, huge move. And so we just exited the bottom. So our baseline for our bottom is here. Our absolute bottom was at a time when Bitcoin dominance was at 59%. So I'm going to take a measurement from 59%, and I'm going to see how bad, because here's the thing, the problem with Bitcoin dominance is that there are lots of stable coins and all kinds of things, I'm sure, packed into this. And so Bitcoin dominance can't get as high as it did in the past because there are so many stable coins and lots of value in stable coins that never existed before. So what we're going to do is we're going to take measure moves, percentages from the environment that existed back then, and we're going to measure it against the environment that currently exists, just to see what Bitcoin dominance percent has moved. So at the very, very worst point, alts were made up, let's see, about 40% of the entire market. And then Bitcoin started to go sideways. And as Bitcoin went sideways and started gaining strength, Bitcoin dominance actually dropped. So we had a 10% drop in the percent of Bitcoin dominance over the next couple of months, about 5 months. And so then Bitcoin started breaking out. And when Bitcoin started breaking out, our Bitcoin dominance started taking over the world. So as Bitcoin moves, so this is kind of the lesson that we're learning, right? So as Bitcoin moves off of its bottom, it starts dominating the entire scene. And so eventually, Bitcoin dominance got to the point where we hit an all-time high of, it moved 22.63% from its very lowest point. So let's remember this, 22.63. And now let's do the exact same thing. And let's take the price at the very, very bottom, which is right here. Well, actually, we did have our bottom right here, about 15.5. That coincides with this week right here. And we're going to move this up 22.6%. 22.63. This number is 49%. Very, very interesting. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that historically, from our very, very bottom up to our first initial swing high, and this is unusual because the prior highs never did this. And I don't know if it's because alts exist. I don't know if it's because people were used to, there was a lot of anticipation about the halving and all kinds of things. We got overheated too fast. And I kind of feel like this might be our extreme. I think we'll get overheated, but I don't know if we'll get this overheated. We're not going to go up 4x. You know what I mean? Like that was insane. But from our bottom, from a Bitcoin dominant standpoint, back then, alts actually took off for a while, and then Bitcoin just ate up everything all the way up to a max increase of 22%. Well, guys, we are pretty much there. If we're looking at 49% as a Bitcoin dominance target, our Bitcoin dominance right now is at 48.86. Like we are within a fraction of a percent of the Bitcoin dominance target. Well, let's go to the absolute worst case scenario. So let's say the bottom is in, cool. Right here, things were a little weird because at the bottom, one second. At the very bottom, we had we were at this kind of weird point where Bitcoin had gained a ton of strength. And then as Bitcoin was showing a little bit of strength, alts kind of took off for a while. So let's take worst case scenario from the bottom of this. So let's just say that this was a fluke and that really if the market was the same as today, we would take dominance from here all the way up. And let's see what percent that is. And we're going to kind of create a worst case scenario type of range. You'll also notice that this is exactly on the 50. The 50 week was the absolute bottom. And so then we hit and rejected off of our 50 week. So there's some interesting lines here. But this move was 40%. So they're actually, if we take this as the worst case scenario, we might be able to do even better. So since we're taking it from our bottom, let's see. Here's our absolute drop. So I'll take it from down here. And in this case, we did not bounce off of our 50, and we have not rejected off of our 50 week. But let's go up 40%. And it's pretty far up there. Yeah, so this would put us at about 55%, which means that there's a fair amount of pain that could still happen. So somewhere between these two extremes, we will find Bitcoin changing. So there's a temptation. There's this bias in trading that's called recency bias, and it's when the same outcome happens several times in a row, traders start changing what they're doing and they start following the most recent outcomes. Well, the most recent outcomes for us is that Bitcoin dominance is taking over the world. Bitcoin dominance has come up a lot over the past 4-5 months. So 4 or 5 months, we've seen Bitcoin dominance. And so there's going to be a huge temptation for us to move from our alts into Bitcoin and sell alts at a loss and jump on the Bitcoin bandwagon. And if history is any indication, we should have been in Bitcoin back here. By this time, it's either completely resolved that Bitcoin and alts are going to move up at the same pace, or there's a potential that there's still more movement on Bitcoin, but we've lost more than half the move. So our risk reward on taking a move right in the middle of this, if this became our worst case scenario, is not as good. So personally, I'm expecting to hang on to any alts that I have, because the second Bitcoin dominance levels off or starts dropping, alts are going to absolutely blow up. And we're further down the path of that change happening than we are at the beginning of it. So the majority of the pain has happened over the past 5 months, and we're either there, if 49% ends up being the number, or we have a little bit more to go, which this could be pretty painful, not gonna lie, but there is indication that we're getting there. So if I go to just full screen and I Bitcoin dominance and I go to the daily, these are the numbers that I've been watching for quite a while. I was expecting to see, where did all my stuff go? Let's see, Bitcoin dominance. Oh, 4 hour. Wow, was I in the 4 hour this whole time? Nope, I was on the weekly. Sorry, I forgot. I just missed my button. Okay, so here are our lines. These are our resistance points. Right here, and right here. And these are only a couple of years old, so they're in the realm of believability, right? And we are now touching the very highest of the three. This is our 49 as far as resistance. So our resistance point right here is also our kind of best case scenario as far as the Bitcoin dominance being complete. But so as Bitcoin has moved up, Bitcoin dominance has increased, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to stay there forever. So this is why, as bad as it feels, especially for the past couple of days when Bitcoin dominance really has jumped, and we're seeing Bitcoin, yeah, we're closing this day right now Bitcoin's up almost 2% and Ethereum's down 1%. And this is pretty unusual. They usually go in tandem. And so this type of thing is pretty unusual. Yeah, 13 seconds until this day is done and this dominance shows up in this chart. Well, there's a lot of reason to believe that we're getting very close. So I'd probably, not giving anyone financial advice, I would be a little scared to jump ship on all of my alts into Bitcoin right when things could be changing. And believe me, a small little move, if we moved even back down 1%, now that Bitcoin is as expensive as it is, that represents millions and billions. I mean, it's billions of dollars that would be flowing into alts if we just had a 1% move back into our range. So some pretty interesting things. The Ethereum Bitcoin chart is definitely in the red zone, and it has dropped really hard for the past couple of days. And so, but at some point, these things get exhausted, and so I'm just gonna wait patiently and let this market play out. Funny thing is you're not losing money when the whole market's going up. When Bitcoin dominance drops, it's just that you're not making as much as Bitcoin. And so that's kind of what's happening. The strategy on the Pro channel, where we're using a lot of leverage to our advantage, we're sitting in some alt positions, but they're practically free because of the leverage we're using. And so it makes us very patient, waiting through until an alt season pops in. But when it happens, man, for those of you who've been around long enough, when an alt season happens, it's unreal. It's double-digit gains like daily. It's so wild. And so those days are definitely in the future. And so we're watching this very, very, very closely. But yeah, I wouldn't be too crazy. It just feels like a lot of these alts have languished, but the structure of the altcoin market is looking pretty good. If I go to the total, so this takes out Ethereum and if I remove Ethereum and Bitcoin from this is the total market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum in dollars, and you can see that we kind of hit a green zone, but our average is right at the top of an inverse head and shoulders. I mean, you can kind of see it. Where's my head and shoulders? Yeah, look at this pattern right here. Put it in anywhere in here. So we're right there. This one's a little too high. There we go. Yeah, so this is daily. And what that means that there is a breakout coming for everything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. So lots of movement here. Also, look at this one. Actually, let me go to the weekly. Well, I already drew it. We already have one on the weekly, and we're just waiting to break out. In fact, oh my, didn't even realize this. Look at this. 5 days left on this weekly candle. Alts are exiting the yellow zone. Oh man, I can't even tell you what a good thing that is. Oh, this is huge. So not only do we have an inverse head and shoulders on the weekly, but we also have a break of the yellow zone. An alt season is imminent. It really is. So I'm actually pretty excited. I'm keeping things exactly the way they are, and I'm not really stressing about anything because paydays are coming. One other thing. So we know that Ethereum's got this upgrade. And so usually the rest of the alt market follows Ethereum, and Ethereum is the ultimate inverse indicator for Bitcoin dominance. But look what Ethereum is doing. It has been very careful, like slow, methodical gains up to the top here. Now compare that to, remember when we were doing the merge? When the merge was happening, we had our huge drop here, and then the merge just took over and we went straight up and we really climbed, and there was a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, and then the merge happened, and we were right at the top at around 2,000 per Ethereum. And then we reversed course, and it was a sell the news event. Ethereum dropped back down. We had FTX happen, and kind of it took us a while. We're still not up to the merge price point. This number is 1980 something and 2000. Like, this is 2000 land, right up here. And this top we haven't touched yet. And so the question is this move up here, is it a sell the news event when the new Shanghai upgrade comes? Well, Ethereum's acted a little different, because for how far Bitcoin has run, if there was any anticipation and excitement about this update, we would have outpaced Bitcoin, but we're not. We're lagging big time. And what that makes me wonder is the opposite about to happen? Are we languishing? Like, people are unsure, they're scared, they're not sure how this is going to work. Then the news breaks and it's a nothing burger, and then suddenly Ethereum pops in. And part of the reason why there could be some fundamentals that back this theory, and that is that when institutions are investing in a project. So my education is in finance. I got a master's degree in finance. And a lot of times when you're valuing either a project or a stock or company or anything that you're valuing and trying to figure out what the true worth of an asset is, the best way to do it is by looking at cash flows. Well, crypto doesn't have cash flows, really. I mean, Bitcoin sure does not. And you're always looking at all these other strange things. Well, what Ethereum's doing with the staking is it's allowing you to see cash flows. And if institutions, right now, institutions are a little bit leery of investing in Ethereum. And part of the reason is because they keep kicking the can down the road. They're not sure if those cash flows are ever realized. Nobody can actually withdraw any of those, and they can't actually realize those gains, and it makes it feel like a money pit. And I'm betting a lot of institutions are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the update, because they want to make sure that they're not just putting money in a black hole. I mean, sure, you can, yeah, because even if you buy some Ethereum and stake it, it's gone. Like, you can't withdraw. And so you can see how an institution, that risk profile would be insane. You'd never do that. If you're a risk manager, there's no way you would do that. Even with the promise, you need proof. And so what I'm betting is that when this Shanghai upgrade comes and some of these stakers unlock and start selling, and for the first time, some of these institutions see that, okay, it's real. Like, everything works, the execution is flawless. Now I can measure cash flows, and I can see what the true value of this thing is. And I think you'll see that the value is pretty high because of the burn. Let's see, time frame. Since the merge, we've burned 83,000. So not only is it more rare, it's becoming more and more rare, but earning interest on an asset that is becoming more scarce, you're like it's like inverse inflation. You're deflating, but you're earning interest on something in the underlying asset, and it's becoming more rare. So it's like earning 10% interest on an asset that that is shrinking. It's like an investor's dream. Like, this is one of the most incredible investments that you could ask for. And but the final checkbox is, what is the risk of this asset? And the risk is, do I get my money back? And I'm betting. So, I mean, it could be volatile around the thing, and we might see a drop because, I think the schlep rocks that are worried about people selling, it's going to be a nothing burger. And I'm betting that a lot more money is going to flow in, and institutions are going to put a crap load of money and actually want to buy Ethereum to start staking, because they will see that the returns are real. So that's all speculation, but I think that is putting a damper on our Ethereum price, and I think it'll be until that comes out that we really get going. The structure is phenomenal. We have a flip from resistance to support, resistance to support. We're now building a fresh wall of resistance. Like, here's our next line. Like this is, I mean, this is textbook trading. So we are absolutely just marching our way up, but it's slow and methodical and it's very careful, which makes the structure amazing. Like it makes me very comfortable in this position. And when that final thing comes out, we might have some volatility, but I'm betting it will be, I bet it'll open the floodgates for institutional investment. All right, I've kind of gone on a little bit too long, so I'm gonna wrap it up, but I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely anticipating alts and Ethereum to do well, and it could literally happen at any time because Bitcoin dominance is right there. Like we're worked through some of this. If this was resistance and we struggled with it for 3 weeks, this should definitely be resistance. I wouldn't expect this to just blow up either. So it might be that the worst is behind us. I mean, there's at least a case for it. All right, you guys, we will catch you live tomorrow. It'll be awesome. It's 12:30 Mountain Time. So and sometimes I'm like 5 minutes late dropping off kids at preschool, but we're definitely going to do it. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.